Hello, my name is Alan Tan and welcome to Telecom Asia News. ICT reskilling is a very important topic for today, and with us this morning is Mr. Saeed, Chief Executive Officer of Centex Malaysia, to talk about the developments in Sarawak.
So basically, the digital economy is the third wave of economic development in Sarawak. We had this first wave in the 70s and 80s. The government were focusing on oil and gas. So in oil and gas, we had the upstream development, and we also have the Bintulu port development, Shell MDS, Asian Bintulu fertilizers, and all these industries. In fact, we had the third largest LNG infrastructure in the world at the time. And things have changed. The reserve has declined. So the government is thinking about the new source of economy. We need to have what they call this a very big treasury to sustain our people, in Sarawak. So they were talking about the new millennium. They're talking about the new hydroelectric power generation, 20,000 megawatt of power to for the whole of Sarawak, and also to attract major industries inside, steel manufacturing plant, aluminium plants, and all these plants. It's called the Sarawak Sarawak Corridor of Renewable Energy. That's the second wave. And the new leadership under the new CM, so this one is not sustainable as well, because after a while you have problem with the dams. People are complaining about native being dislocated and all this. So the third economy is the digital economy. So digital economy is taking a cue from the global trends. You have people talking about apps economy. You're talking about e-commerce. People talking about technology and all this stuff. So the digital economic strategy is on that basis. It's a must for Sarawak to migrate to the new economy, right? Because our resources have declined, and it's a right step for the Chief Minister to embark on digital economy. So how the strategy was formulated, it was on the basis of the first conference we had. Once he took over in January of Sarawak leadership, he started the IDEC, the International Digital Economic Conference. So he wanted ideas from around the globe, So after that we had lab sessions. These are labs comprising people from the industries, from the government, the civil service, Everybody was involved in these labs. And finally we came up with a strategy. So the strategy is basically to focus on economic areas important for the state. So we are talking about Industry 4.0. We're talking about digital agriculture. We're talking about smart cities. We're talking about smart meters for and traffic lights and all that. There are a lot of sectors involved in the economic strategy, and we have identified as well what they call this important enablers. The key enablers to this will be the infrastructure. We need to give access of fast internet speed to the people and also to the industries. If you don't have this, we'll still be left behind. So infrastructure is the key equation to this. But infrastructure comes with the skill. If you don't have the skill, then you probably don't have the economy. After that, and once in advanced stage, you probably need things like cyber security, data science, this sort of stuff will come a bit later. So the strategy is on that basis. So we're working on it now. We have got it approved. We have the state budget, independent of what the federal is doing, and we are embarking on it as of currently.
Having said that, how important is ICT towards achieving that strategy?
The ICT right now is the biggest challenge is infrastructure. We need to be able to establish as fast as possible the fiber optics lines, the microwave lines, and the wireless lines throughout the state. So now we have 1,200 towers in the state. So basically the CM is talking about 3,800 towers. There will be triple the number of towers. So we have access to fiber telecommunication. That's number one. Number two is the skills. All our talents right now, they probably are good talents, but they're not working in Sarawak anymore. They're probably in Singapore, and some of them in Silicon Valley, some of them in Hong Kong. So we need to create our own local talents, and also to import some good talents as well from overseas to help us. This is the critical part of it. And of course, there's government support. We have the Chief Minister who has driven leadership driven. It's a top-down kind of approach. These are three key ingredients that we have right now.
Could you tell us briefly what is Sentex Malaysia?
Basically, Sentex is a center of technical excellence for Sarawak. We have a lot of training centers in Sarawak right now, addressing the different needs of the people. But Sentex has been created just to ensure that we address the bigger needs of the state. So we have the first wave of industrialization in the 70s. People are talking about oil and gas, palm oil industries. So Sentex is involved in critical upskilling of youth from 18 years old to 45 into these areas. So they can have Form 5, they can have a degree, they can have a diploma. Upskilling is our job. So far we've trained around 1,500 people since 2015. And we go for international certification, so the kids can actually not only work in Sarawak, they can work elsewhere as well. So we're giving them wings to fly. So that's our job, number one. So the second part will be hydroelectric economy. So we're talking about chargemen, we're talking about plants, industrial plant supervisors. These levels of training we give, technical. And it's all free for the last 3 years. Nothing is charged. We give them free education, food, accommodation, allowances. It's free for people residing in Sarawak. And now, because of the digital economy, now our ship is going to the next level, which is covering the requirement, the hardware requirement of the digital economy, which is the infrastructure. So we have worked out with Huawei, together with Huawei, to develop a lab, a training lab, and it's called the Sentex Huawei Training Lab in Kuching, which should be commissioned mid of July this year. That will cover programs like microwave, wireless, and FTTX data center, and we also have telecommunication energy and apps programming. These are the basic programs required by the digital economy in Sarawak. And after that, we are moving into the next level, which is for postgraduates, engineers. This is what we call the data science. So we want to produce as many data scientists as possible from Sarawak with a very unique business model inside it. Yeah, that's our job, really.
So what is the future for Sentex?
Sentex, as you see very well, we have this thinking that Sentex will be international, ultimately. 10, 20 years down the road, most organizations will go international, but we must fulfill the aspiration of the state. We are created to serve the state of Sarawak. Ultimately, we can share some of these technologies that we have from what we learn to parts of Malaysia and probably Southeast Asia and probably Asia, and finally at international level. So partnership with Huawei is a very, very good thing to have, because we have a global player here, one of the best in the industries, to bring us through the ocean, the South China Sea, Indian Ocean, and finally Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean. So this is what we thought is the best partnership we have right now with Huawei.
Thank you very much.
Right, thank you.